we'll be discussing about some specific groups. Okay, so study of specific groups. So we have discussed about periods and groups in our previous video. Today we'll be discussing about the first group, that is group 1. So group 1 means the first column on your periodic table, on your modern periodic table. The first column on the left hand side is what? Is group 1. In that you have elements like lithium, sodium, potassium, okay, rubidium, cesium, francium. You have this part you have to remember, okay? So rubidium, cesium and francium. So these are the elements in the first group, group 1. You have hydrogen also, but since we are discussing about group 1, that means most of the properties will be taking metals. Hydrogen is a gas. So these elements lie on the first group, and as you go from top to bottom, what happens? From our previous discussion, the size of the element will keep on increasing. Why? Because the number of cells increases as you go from top to bottom. You have to remember this. Now in your book, you have certain characteristics of these elements. Okay, turn to page number 90. There we have characteristics of this group 1 element. The first one is aquarius. So you know these are alkali metals. Group 1 is known as what? Alkali metals. And these metals are highly reactive. Once, if it is highly reactive, means what? It cannot stay in free state. Now, once it is reactive, means it will combine with other elements and will stay in a combined form, not as freely. Second one, nature, they are soft and they can be cut with a knife also. These are some characteristics that you need to remember. Bonding, you know, these group 1 elements, most of the time they always form ionic bond, means they transfer, they give up their electron. They have one electron in the valence shell. They have one electron in the valence shell. Therefore, if they lose this one electron, then it will be very, very stable. Therefore, every time it prefers to form an ionic bond. But there is an exception. Exception on lithium salt. Lithium salt is an exception. It doesn't form ionic bond. Remember that, okay? Now, if it is giving its electron to others, means what? It can act as what? It always acts as what? Reducing agent. Please remember, action with air. Now, whenever these metals they react with oxygen, they always form oxides, metal oxides. Like if you have sodium reacting with oxygen, then you form sodium oxide. Balancing part I have already taught you. Please balance this equation. Now, action with water. Now, whenever these metals they react with water, hydrogen gas is liberated. So, suppose you have sodium reacting with water. What will it form? It will form oxides or hydroxides. That is sodium hydroxide. And which part is important? It liberates hydrogen gas. It forms hydroxides. Okay, and these hydroxides they are highly basic in nature. Action of acids. Now, whenever this metal, this group 1 metal, they react with metal, these acids, they always form salt and hydrogen. Hydrogen is very important here. So, whenever say this metal, this M denotes any of these metals. So, any of these metals, group 1 metal, whenever it reacts with say any acid, then these are basic in nature. Therefore, it will form metal salt. Here Cl and Cl plus hydrogen gas will be liberated. So remember this, okay? This is very easy to remember. In both the cases, whether it is reacting with water or with acid, it is producing hydrogen gas. Please remember this part. Now, there are certain other properties like all alkali metals, they impart certain color to the flame. Okay, and this is known as the flame test. Now, from if you do not know which out of these elements, if you do not know which element is given to you, then you can perform the flame test. From the color of the flame, you will be able to identify, because it gives characteristic color to the flame. Like here you have seen lithium gives crimson red. You have to remember this. Sodium gives golden yellow. Potassium lilac. Okay, these are the characteristic color which is imparted to the flame by each of this group 1 element. Now, say in your syllabus, that also in class 10, group 1, group 2, group 17 and 18 are very, very important. Okay, so you need to know more about group 1, group 2, group 17 and group 18. Therefore, they have given it here. Now, these were some of the characteristics of group 1. Group 1 is known as alkyl metal, and please do not forget, they have one electron in the valence. This is very, very important. One electron in the valence, and their valence is 1. And every time they tend to lose this one electron to be stable, and since it loses this one electron, therefore it always acts as well reducing agent, and this is very important. Now let's discuss about group 2 metals now. Group 1 and group 2, since they are metals, group 1 and group 2, since they are metals, their properties, most of the properties are similar type. Now group 2, and they are known as alkaline earth metals. Okay? Group 2 means its valency will be 2. Since it has 2 electrons, again 2 becomes stable. To have lower gas configuration, it loses these 2 electrons. In the outermost cell, it has 2 electrons. It tends to lose its electron. So once it loses, it also acts as what? Reducing agent. Okay, group 2 metals also act as what? Reducing agents. Now, in group 2, that means in the second column of the periodic table from extreme left is known as group 2, and in group 2 you have beryllium, magnesium, you have calcium, then comes strontium, barium and radium. Strontium, barium and radium. Now these elements are group 2 elements. Please remember. And most importantly, valence 2 alkaline earth metals. And since it has 2 electrons, it tends to lose its electron, therefore it acts as well reducing agent. Now let's see at other characteristics. Occurrence, again, they are very highly reactive, therefore they do not stay in free state in nature. That means they react with some other element and will stay in combined form. Nature, they are grayish white, okay, in color and harder than the alkali metals. So remember the color, grayish white. Bonding, all alkaline earth metal salts except salts of beryllium, they form what? Ionic bonds. 2 electrons, it tries to lose those 2 electrons, therefore it prefers to form every time ionic bond. But exception here is what? Exception here is beryllium. In group 1, it was also forming ionic bond. What was the exception? Lithium. Please remember. Now, action of water. Here also, you will be having similar type of reaction. It will give you action with water. So now here this N represents group 2 elements, N is one of these elements. Okay, so whenever it reacts with water, it forms metal hydroxide, and here it is OH whole twice. Why? The valency of group 2 element is what? 2. Therefore, crisscross while writing this electron, and here hydrogen gas again will be liberated. So this type of reaction, the alkali and alkaline, the reaction is almost the same, but don't forget about the valency. Okay, here in group 2, it has to be both twice. Now, action of acid. Here also, it's the same. You will be getting salt plus hydrogen action with acids. As I told you, this hand here represents which element? Any one of these elements. Please don't be confused. If it is going to write calcium, it will give you salt, metal salt, and Cl. Don't forget, valency of metal, group 2 metal is 2, therefore Ms and Cl2 plus hydrogen. Okay, this valency part is very important. Now, these metals, how many electrons do they have in the valency? 2 electrons. Therefore, it tends to lose 2 electrons. 2 electrons. And if it loses 2 electrons, that means 2 negative sign has gone. Therefore, here you will be getting 2 positive sign over the metal ion. Okay, and as I told you, they are very strong reducing agents. Now, exception, except beryllium and magnesium, all other alkaline or metals impart color to the flame. Like calcium will give you brick red color. Here also, this calcium, whenever you take some pinch of calcium on the tip of a platinum wire and you take it near to the flame, then you will see that the color of the flame changes and it becomes what? Brick. It becomes brick red if it is calcium. If that particular salt is strontium, then it gives you crimson color. And if it is beryllium, then it will give you what? Apple green color. And if it is radium, and that radium, bits of it you have taken and put it in the flame, okay, near to the flame, then the color of the flame will be changed and it will be crimson. Okay, now these are the main properties of group 2 elements, and once the school reopens, once the school reopens, you will be seeing these colors practically. Okay, so please learn whatever I have taught you from group 1 and group 2 elements. And last time I have given you some assignments regarding this exercise 5B. I hope you have completed it. Soon you will be getting this some of the assignments based on this 5C. Okay, once it is over, I'll be giving you some assignments based on this exercise 5C. Please don't pile up the assignment that is given. By next video, we will be completing this chapter. After that, we will be getting some more assignment. Please be regular in your studies. Study seriously. Take care and thank you.